Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Well, the Calgary Flames get cratered. Yes, cratered by the 32nd overall Nashville Predators. Final score 5-2. You can't tell, I'm a little fired up, and I had to put it up. Because that's all this team is doing at this point, is sitting and waiting for Gavin McKenna. And if you're delusional enough to be thinking that this team is going to be doing anything but trying to find ways to lose hockey games for the rest of the season, I forgot to do my light setup. We'll go with this for tonight. You're delusional. Like, point blank period. This team is terrible. You just let a team that can't score goals put 5 on you. And I don't want to go and look for what the high danger scoring chances were tonight, because boy, oh boy, it's gonna be fucking ugly. I have no idea how the deserve to win a meter after 1,000 simulations says the Flames win this game 47.3% of the time. As I thought the Flames got cratered and did not play a very good game whatsoever. But boy, oh boy, like what was inspiring in today's game for you, chat? Was there anything? Tell me if you're seeing something that I didn't today. As we'll go into the recap here shortly. Once again, my name's Conrad Krausert. Welcome to Game Over Calgary. And yes, I'm aware I have a big thing on my face. It's fine. Unlike the Calgary Flames today, they were not fine. They were the opposite of fine. The Calgary Flames were awful. And I understand this is the last game of a long road swing, but boy, oh boy, was there no give a damn from any member of the Calgary Flames other than Blake Coleman tonight? And maybe I'm only saying that because at least Blake Coleman went out and punched somebody in the face about it. Punched Calgary native Ozzy Weisblatt. You know. Because that's how we're going to judge the Calgary Flames. Oh boy. The Flames looked like a team that wasn't on the 5th game of a 5-game road swing. That looked like the New York Rangers at the end of their 8-game road swing they had to start, or longer than that. Was it 12? To start last year when Madison Square Garden was under renovation? Maybe it was longer than last year. I need to get my facts straight. But anyways, this didn't look like a team that was away for 5 games. None of them back-to-back. This looked like a team that's been playing for 7 days straight, 0 breaks, had 0 interest in playing the game of hockey today. But hey, at least we're giving out first NHL goals left, right, and center. Let's head into the review for this hockey game, if we're going to call it that. And it was the first overall goal for Reed Schaefer. Calgary Flames just unable to clear the zone, and Rasmus Andersson gets walked by Svechkov. And Reed Schaefer tucks home the rebound. Like, Rasmus has been maybe the Flames' best offensive player in terms of setting up everyone else on this roster. But boy, oh boy, he looked out of place on that goal. Sliding his way out to the faceoff dot, gets walked by Svechkov. And not only Svechkov's 3rd assist of the season, Nick Hague got the secondary assist, his 4th. Flames go down 1-0, and If I'm Devin Cooley, I hope that nothing matters, we're all gonna die mantra was working for him today, because it is gonna be an awkward flight home tomorrow if it isn't. As I'd be glaring down every single player on this team after that. Flames actually led in shots after one, 10-9. Hopefully everyone's enjoying our little art piece over on my right, by the way. Let's go to the second period, where Steven Stamkos, who is having one of his worst point production years that he's seen in a long, long time, takes a beauty of a play by Luke Evangelista, and it's just a terrible line change from the Flames. Kadri can't get the puck deep, but yet three guys jump over the boards. Kadri is the only one who skates back, and Kuznetsov can't get there in time. Like, holy, was that a calamity of errors? Was it a great play by Evangelista to make Devin Cooley be looking for his jockstrap in the top? Is it still the Nationwide Arena? Doesn't say on the site I'm using. But Cooley has to play the shot, plays it all the way down, and Evangelista wraps it around right on the stick of Stamkos. Maybe trying to get the former Tampa Bay Lightning player a little bit more on his game, his 7th of the year. Assist to Evangelista, his 14th. And Ryan O'Reilly, the wily vet, point leader for the Preds, gets his 11th assist of the year. But the Predators kept stalking. And again, the Flames just collapse into the world's smallest defensive box in their own zone, fail to get the clear, and Jonathan Marchessault fires a absolute laser. But boy, oh boy, that was some poor positioning from the three forwards for the Flames. And I understand it's Beecher, it's your fourth line, plus Joel Farabee, who got trapped out because of the long change, but Dryden Hunt and Beecher just looked like two guys who are AHLers playing against some of the best out there. And obviously Jonathan Marchessault has been kind of a disappointment, just like Steven Stamkos, who scored the goal before him. Assist to Roman Josi. Shocking that he only has 7 assists. Has he missed some time? I haven't been paying attention to the Nashville Predators. Let's do some live investigation, shall we? No, 13 games played, so he has missed some time. The Swiss defender. His 7th assist, second assist on the night for Nick Hague, putting him up to 5. And then the Calgary kid, Ozzy Weisblatt. Obviously, everybody knows the story. They mentioned it on the broadcast. If you're a Calgary native, you know the story about Orca Weisblatt, unfortunately passing in a car accident over the summer. So Ozzy gets his first goal in the NHL against the team he grew up cheering for. And obviously, if you've ever watched a game with Ozzy in it and Sportsnet's producing it, they make sure to mention that his mom, who is hearing impaired, has all the signing and stuff. Really happy for Ozzy. Really happy. Hopefully his mom was watching from home. Hopefully had closed captions on so that you could hear all the kind words that John Abbott had for Ozzy. Congratulations to the young Calgarian. Assist to Bunting, who, for whatever reason, plays some of his best hockey against the Calgary Flames. It's one of those weird ones that you don't think of a guy that doesn't play the Flames very often, obviously spending a lot of years with the Leafs out east, but just seems to really play well against the Flaming Sea for whatever reason. And Stastny gets the secondary assist. Spencer Stastny, he's one of those guys who I think you're going to need to look out for as this Predators team does start to rebuild. Apologies. Yeah, the Woodridge native, a 5th round, 7th overall pick, but just steady as she goes. 7 points, a -2 in 25 games played. I think he's going to be something to watch. Not probably as a top line guy, but someone very steady for this Predators team. Got something in my teeth. I apologize. But yeah, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be this core for this Nashville Predators team as they do their rebuild, just in the same way that guys like Zane Pratt, Kevin Ball are going to be kind of the guys that are going to be relied upon to be this transitional force for the Flames. Gets his 7th assist of the year. Just my little thing I thought during the game. Speaking of the devil, he appears again, Michael Bunting. We're into the 3rd period now. He takes the backhander off. Again, the Flames just really being poor in transition today. And it is Kevin Ball that kind of gets victimized. But it's a bouncing puck off the forward, and Michael Bunting taps it home on the backhand. Assist to Willsby and Yost. They're both of their respective 3rd assists of the season. But you won't go 6 periods without scoring again. Remember, the Flames have already gone 8 periods without scoring so far this season. Morgan Frost, after some good work by the Calgary Flames power play, takes a very, very beautiful assist from Nazem Kadri. Gets it back out front. Frost barely gets it inside the far post. Jonathan Huberdeau also draws an assist. Hopefully that gets him starting to move and performing like an NHLer. I thought I read a stat that said prior to this assist, he was on pace for 43 points this season. So that's a little bit of a yikes if you're a Calgary Flames fan. That would be the 2nd lowest of his career. Yeah. Not good signs for the Flames in this one. Flames lost in the shot department in the 3rd. Nashville shooting 12 and the Flames shooting 8. The Flames won the 2nd period by a 10-7 margin in the shot clock category. Ended up even on shots. Flames did, however, do much better in the face-off dot, winning 59% of face-offs. Hey, maybe winning face-offs doesn't always guarantee you winning the possession battle. Flames also went 1 for 3 on the power play and a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. That was actually kind of the best part of the Flames game today, was when they were down a man. Really good job from the penalty killers today. Obviously, John Beecher is a part of that, despite me roasting him a little bit earlier. A lot of penalty minutes in this one. 2 fights, obviously, helping out in that category. 18 minutes for the Flames, 20 for the Preds. Flames led in hits, block shots, giveaways, and fell in takeaways. And for the 2nd time this year, the lowly Nashville Predators have defeated your hometown Calgary Flames. But before we get any further, please, I noticed we only got 1 like on the last stream that I did. Please, please, please hit that like button. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you're on social media, share this out. Make sure the Calgary Flames aggregator on X knows that we exist. I don't know who's running that account, but hey, get us on over there. I know I'm on Blue Sky. I'm back on X at Conrad Casts. And then if I'm over on Blue Sky, I think it's at conradkrausert.bsky.com or bsky.social. That's the word I'm looking for. So make sure to go hit all the socials. In a world that's driven by algorithms more and more by the day, we need all the help we can get to continue to grow, get this chat a little bit more bumping. Not that I don't love to see Little Uzi Bert, Matt C, KQ, Anand hanging out in chat. Hopefully some more of our friends start to trickle in. And I think I've got a listener listening all the way from the great state of Hawaii. My parents are out there, so I'm only a little bit jealous. And our co-host, Anand, who is in chat, is at Calgary, or CGY_Anand. Go and give him a follow, too. I know he'll be hosting the next show. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I think this game breaks anyone's delusions that the Calgary Flames are a competitive NHL team. Like, If you still think the Calgary Flames have a chance to miss the playoffs by 1 point, I think you're absolutely out to lunch. There's not enough skill on this team to face off against any team that has either rebuilt through free agency and trades like Nashville tried to do. You certainly can't peak up with the Macklin Celebrinis, Macklin Celebrinis and Connor Bedards of the world. Like, the rebuild that was attempted to be done in the light of the Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk departures has not worked. And I don't think I'm crazy in saying that. The only player that has been consistently good, and I'm using good pretty darn loosely, out of that group is Nazem Kadri, who, boy oh boy, I had the biggest lump in my throat watching him go knee on knee in this game. So, as much as I wouldn't call myself anti Nazem Kadri. I haven't been his biggest supporter here in my private life. But my heart went to my throat thinking, oh shit, that is one of our blue chip trade prospects on the ice on a knee. And was very slow to get up, obviously returned very quickly. But this is sometimes why you don't want to hold on to guys like Nazem Kadri or Rasmus Andersson, who also took a little bit of a physical toll today. Because the more you play them as a Calgary Flame, the more chances they have to pick up an injury. And if Nazem Kadri had unluckily blown out his ACL, number one, you lose the trade value potentially this season, but you also lose potentially trade value moving forward. You don't know how every single guy is going to bounce back from a serious knee injury. Look at the regression we've seen for Connor Zary. I don't think I would have seen this level out of Connor Zary without those 2 knee injuries last year. And boy, it could have been worse. We're very lucky that Nazem Kadri didn't go off with a season-ending injury. But I think it's time for Craig Conroy to either use the power that he allegedly negotiated for with Murray Edwards, or it's time for all of us that are Flames fans to just give up all illusions of supporting this team. It sucks to say that. I hate having just said that. But I've seriously been questioning why I continue to put myself through this. And I gotta be honest, a lot of the time it is for the guys and gals that are in chat. Guys, gals, non-binary pals. It is sometimes very painful, and I've had my housemate and my partner both say, are you sure you can go watch the Calgary Flames for your mental health? And I'm starting to reach that point where the answer is getting closer to no than it is yes. Because it is an incredibly bad NHL team. Blake Coleman, yeah, he's a G, but he's a G as in gone, hopefully traded for at least a set of seconds. It's just so frustrating, to be honest. As I've said so many times this year, I go back to that quote. I can't remember who it was with the Raptors that said, if you're not selling wins, you need to sell hope. The Calgary Flames aren't doing that. And I've just tabbed over to Money Puck here. Mackenzie Weegar on expected goals tonight, goose egg. Double goose egg. That's going to be your number one defenseman here in about, let's call it a month and a half. When is the trade deadline? March 6th. So that 3-ish months. In 3 months, Mackenzie Weegar is going to be the number one defenseman on this team. And boy, howdy, he should not be going to the Olympics. I've been seeing lots of people put up their Canadian rosters and say, oh yeah, Mackenzie Weegar's on that roster. No, he ain't. As much as I don't believe the Hockey Canada management is good, I don't think they're blind. Is he playing with an injury? God, I hope so. And God, hopefully he can get better in 2 weeks when he isn't playing hockey during the Olympic break. And maybe it's time to break up that Weegar-Kuznetsov pair. Because, like, I don't think Yan Kuznetsov was overly good today either. And, like, this is your closest competition based on the standings. It's tough. I think it's time to start the selling. I don't think you can wait till the end, till that March 6th date if you're the Calgary Flames. Because, like, your big four defenders today, who did play a majority of the time. Rasmus Anderson, he's going to be gone, but he played 23 minutes tonight, -3. Kevin Ball, he's not going anywhere. He's signed till the end of time, amen. Only a little bit of hyperbole there. 20 minutes played, -3. Okay, sure. Yan Kuznetsov, 20 minutes played, -2. Yeah, sure. Mackenzie Weegar, 22.41, -2. 2 penalty minutes. Craig, you got two guys that are untouchable. One's going to the World Juniors in a couple of months or a couple of weeks. I'll address that in the overtime period here. Because he doesn't have final say. He only has a 10-team no trade. Remember that. That was reported and confirmed. So he can still be moved out to 22 other teams. We'll touch on that in overtime. Yeah, Zane Parekh and Dustin Wolf, I think, are only 2 untouchables. I guess we touched on what I was going to touch on in the third period, so... Okay, so it is a 13-team no trade, so that leaves 19 or 18 other teams that he can be traded for. We'll talk about that in overtime, folks. But let's talk about how bipolar this team is. As we said, the Flames scored in the last 2 games. Obviously, the game against the Hurricanes, boring as hell. But hey, both teams didn't score. Only goal scored was against in overtime. So 5 periods before the Flames score a single goal. Then you look, 5 against the Panthers, 5 against the Lightning, 5 against the Canucks. Or 1 against the Lightning. It's 5 against the Lightning. The fact that the Flames have won 42 games in a row when they score 4 or more, it just leads me to believe that, hey, we need to just kind of abandon this whole idea of defense, kind of throw Dustin Wolf to the proverbial wolves and Devin Cooley in the same thing. And hey, maybe not play this defensive brand of hockey that Ryan Huska seems to be spouting as gospel. Because hey, even that game that they win in the shootout against Dallas, like, that's an anomaly. The Flames generally don't win those. Like, we can win these 6-2 games. Going back to the Sabres. Like, I don't know what's the answer here. But at the same time, I think the easy play, and if Craig Conroy and Don Maloney and co have the cojones to understand, yes, we just extended this guy. We said he was our guy. And hey, maybe Maloney and Conroy's 2-year contracts are tied to Huska for this reason, but there is one guy that you can get rid of basically easier than anyone else, and that is Ryan Huska. And I don't know, maybe Craig Conroy says, I know he's a lame duck, but I'm going to keep him to the end of the season. Maybe that's the way you have to look at it, just because I don't think the Detroit Red Wings are going to let go of Alex Tanguay. And Craig Conroy, I know he is special assistant to the general manager, and I don't think he'd want to jump over Dave Lowry's head if they do get rid of Huskamania. But it's sometimes the simplest answer, the one with the writing on the wall, is the one that needs to be done. And I know I'm just looking at a month of November where the Calgary Flames were better than expected. And it's only December. Game 28, I think it says on the graphic. But it's beginning to feel like this team needs to stop thinking they're smarter than everyone else in the NHL and just accept that they need to fire their coach, need to wipe the slate clean and change the outlook for this Calgary Flames. At least from behind the coaching staff bench. And I guess the question is changing and going to someone like a Lowry going to change anything? I didn't watch a ton of the Jets under Dave Lowry, but I can certainly think with the talent he had there, they probably played a lot more free-flowing. So maybe Lowry is the coach with that interim tag. But I don't know. Games like today really make me question if this coaching staff has lost the room with the chat GPT lines and what have you. But a good line here from Anand. A better November, but hasn't helped at all in the standings. You went from 32nd, I think, to peaking at 30th, and now you're back down at 32nd overall. I think that management knows. As much as we are upset with Maloney, Conroy, etc., Pascal, and Nonis, like, there has to be the writing on the wall, right? Like, I don't know. But know what I do know? So you should check out Game Over Network. Head on over to our website. Check out the amazing work that Andrew has put out. Go check out our other streams, Game Over Montreal and Toronto. Both these markets have been doing incredibly funny work. I know that over in Montreal, I think they had one of our friends from Game Over Ottawa, who's still on hiatus, join. I think it was Charlie that was on the stream. I was busy paying attention to the hockey game that disappointed me to check that one out. But check out the rest of the network. We are trying to improve the sports media landscape. And hey, not everyone is as pessimistic as I am. Oh, and hey, at least you didn't have to watch a certain somebody play his first game in the NHL today, because you got to watch the Calgary Flames. We'll leave that where it is. But we'll head into our overtime period here, and we'll start with the conversation that chat was having about Nazem Kadri. As Matt C says, Kadri has only a 13 team, no trade. But as Matt C also said, Murray Edwards likes this core. We need more Kadris, not less. And I understand Nazem has his friends, family here in Calgary now. We all know what a competitor Nazem Kadri is. So hopefully this game and how flat the rest of the team felt, because I actually think Nazem was the other guy that was kind of just below Blake Coleman and actually playing this game. And I felt like, as I've said on previous streams, he's been one of the better Flames over this last stretch of games. The success that the Flames have had. But man, you have to think he's probably got that decision weighing heavily over his head. But there are teams that are starting to knock on that door, starting to sniff around, trying to see what the cost is, if they can manage that cost. I know the fires that were on the Montreal deal have kind of started to fade out a little bit. I heard the Flyers were potentially interested when I was doing a little bit of research on my own. It just certainly is starting to feel like that is on the inevitability signs of things. And hey, if we ever do want to trade Devin Cooley or Logan, it's Devin Cooley. Logan Cooley is the one that plays for Utah. The Avalanche, Scott Wedgwood did go down today. Did not return. Just saying. If we want to turn the assets we have into potentially more assets. There's teams that need a backup goalie who can play games. And hey, maybe Devin can go down there and just be a smiling, bubbling, interesting, best quote self. And he'll annoy Cale Makar so much that Cale wants to come sign in Calgary. But anyways, the other thing is Weegar's contract length worries me more than Huberdeau's does. Both players have very obviously regressed this season. What is, let's look, I have a way to find this. What is the plus minus on the season for Mackenzie Weegar? Because he led the team last year in plus minus. He has a minus 22 this season. And yes, plus minus, garbage stat. So beyond garbage. Until you hit the outliers. Being minus 22 on this Calgary Flames team that obviously can't score shouldn't be a shock, but you should not be that far in a deviation away from the mean. For a guy that's a plus 92 on his career, there has to be something wrong, right? Like, that's not a string of bad games. That's an unheard of run for a player that has spent lots of time as the Calgary Flames top defender and has spent time potentially running power play too. Like, you think the plus minus would start to shuffle around a little bit, but hasn't done that, and that is a little bit worrying. However, I have more faith that this version of Mackenzie Weegar is an anomaly than I do with Huberdeau. And the one hope I have is potentially Jonathan Huberdeau's agent somehow chases him out of town. But tried that once before and it didn't work. So who knows? I'll give one last shout out for any other questions, comments, concerns, and maybe we could talk about this guy. And is he still the number 1 overall draft pick? Is he still the one that the Calgary Flames should be aiming for? So as I said, there are some other options out there. And I know that there's kind of this belief that Keaton Verhoff is going to be the number 1 overall, but I like Gavin McKenna. 72. However, the fact that he is now playing at North Dakota with Cole Reshny, maybe that plays into the Flames draft plans. But we're in game 28, folks, so I'm not going to fully go into that. Going once, going twice. Let's put a bow on this broadcast as the Calgary Flames fall and don't really put in any effort. They lose 5-1 to the Nashville Predators. Where is our next stream, you may ask? That's a good question. Obviously, the Flames play again on Thursday. Anand will be bringing you, or again on Sunday, rather. It's a 3 o'clock puck drop. And, no, I'm wrong. I just haven't filled in the right games on our spreadsheet here. It is on Thursday. Do your job, Conrad. Fill in the right slots. It's the Thursday 7 o'clock when the Wild come to town. Anand will be handling that game. And it was supposed to be Anand on Monday, but it appears Anand is now unavailable. So it'll be back-to-back me for Saturday and Monday as the Mammoth and Sabres come back to Calgary. Will we see Hunter Brustevich or any of the other kids in the lineup? Who knows? Flames don't have a practice day tomorrow as they are flying back to Calgary. I hate this condensed schedule. But we will have to see what the Flames can do when they take on the Wild. As I said, Anand will bring you the post-game show for that one. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your week, Calgary Flames fans. We'll be back on Thursday.